What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Let's Eat Orlando with Amy, Drew, and Biggie. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope it's you're doing your new year. Man, January was a long month, and February
There's all kinds of memes that are like, January was the longest 2 years of my life.
or January 74th. Like I literally believe it. It was super nuts. Obviously, lots going on, lots of busyness. So hopefully you guys are doing well. We're gonna chat some food. I guess before we do that, Amy, Drew, what's good and new with you?
Well, I don't know who out there did it, but I did dry January, which is something that not even God himself could have predicted. I did it except for one night. I cheated. I was at a kind of fancy restaurant and I was like, I'm going to have the sake flight. But because of that, even though it is now the first week of February as we are recording, because this may end up dropping days from now, I am still dry. I am making sure that I make it to the end of the first week of February, and then I'll feel like I actually did, well, I'll have done more than a month just with one cheat day.
So I am. Have you noticed any difference doing the dry January? You notice anything different?
I spent less money.
That's a big one.
That's one thing. And thing two, and I don't know if this would have been a thing if I had tried to do a dry January when I was 30, say, or 35.
Okay.
But at 54, which is how old I am.
And looking amazing.
Thank you. I drank that one night and I woke up at like 1 o'clock in the morning for no reason. And I did not drink too much. I didn't finish all the sake in the flights. I was not, loaded. I just drank.
Yeah.
And I woke up in the middle of the night. So I can say, having done this experiment, not drinking is better for my sleep. And I do not believe, I know nothing scientific. I have not read anything about this, but I do not believe that this is a unique phenomenon. I do believe that this is documented. I don't know if it's about blood sugar levels or what the alcohol does, but I woke up. I woke up in the middle of the night, like 3 hours after I fell asleep.
I guess I'm kind of curious, like typically, do you wake up in the middle of the night when you usually typically drink, or do you usually sleep through the night?
I think maybe I just didn't know because my drinking,
it's occasional. It's not like it's not all the time. So that's why I'm curious.
No, and I'm very much a social drinker. Like maybe once in a while, if I'm home cooking and there's wine in the recipe, I'll pour myself some wine. But largely, I don't drink unless I'm drinking with someone. And when I'm home, more often than not, I'm not drinking with anybody. So, so sense. I just don't drink.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I definitely, I think I think that cutting out the alcohol gave me better sleep. I do think that.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I would love to say that would do that for me, but I don't really drink too much or that often. And so I was pretty close to a dry January, I think. And I still wake up in the middle of the night, granted, because I have to pee, and then I wake up and then it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then I sometimes can fall back asleep, and then sometimes it's just a toss and turn, and my brain then starts thinking stupid things.
Yes. Oh my God. Those terrible middle of the night invasive thoughts.
Yes. Yeah, and then I have like some random song in my head.
You ever just get up? You're like, I give up. I'm going to go do something.
I have done that in the past. I've woken up. Sometimes it happens. It really happens more on like a Friday or a Saturday where I'll just wake up and I'll just like forget it. I'll just go downstairs and I'll start watching.
Awful,
I'll watch
on
something.
The day that you could theoretically, assuming you have nothing going on in the morning, the day that you could theoretically sleep in.
Yep.
That you wake up. That's a crime.
Yes. No, I totally agree with that.
That's
I totally agree with that.
For you. That's an injustice.
That's an injustice.
I can say that the experiment has proven that I sleep better, longer, and more stable with no alcohol in my system.
Okay.
And I tried, did we talk about this last time? I tried non-alcoholic beer.
No, but tell me about that.
Oh my God. This is the first time I tried. I've never had any non-alcoholic beer, and this wasn't a habit. I've tried it a couple times since then, just because now I'm sort of turned on to the idea, and I think it's worth doing a story. So I've been sampling a little bit here and there. But mostly I didn't drink anything alcohol related at all. But I was out a few weeks ago with two other people right around my age who were also doing dry January. And we were all out in Sanford. And I went into this one bar with me, and we met up with a guy friend later. I was out with a girlfriend, and I saw that they had non-alcoholic beer. And I was like, all right, let me try this. And it was a Sam Adams something. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a Sam Adams non-alcoholic beer. I was like, wow, this really tastes like beer. And then I tried, so I was so curious, then we moved around and I tried two other non-alcoholic beers that were progressively worse than the one that I had had. The last one that I had was just like, it wasn't any more terrible than a terrible alcoholic beer. Yeah. But it had no flavor, which plenty of alcoholic beers don't have flavor either. So, but I was totally impressed. And I will say this, as somebody who's never been like the, FOMO person, I had been concerned about going out to bars, trying to go watch live music and not have a drink. It seemed weird to me. It's a terrible thing to say, but I admit it. So I can tell you this, I felt so normal with like a big mug of beer at the bar, surrounded by other people with big mugs of beer, even though mine didn't have any alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Or very, very low alcohol, whatever they say about beer. Yeah. It's like, I think it's lower than kombucha, or something. But I get it. Now I get the FOMO thing, and it made me feel like normal. I didn't feel like I was missing out.
Okay.
Because I was drinking beer. It tasted like beer.
I don't know if I would. That's like me drinking decaf. I just don't see myself doing it.
Yeah, I don't drink decaf either.
Yeah, I just don't see myself doing it. And maybe because I'm not like, I don't love beer, like, oh my God. So it's like, I need to have it. So I just kind of may not. So I don't know if I would. I don't know. It depends.
Beer. I like beer. And I was pleased to report that beer fills me up, So like if I have two beers, I'm like, I can't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a heavier beer. It did the same thing. Like the non-alcoholic beer filled me up exactly the same. But I'm just not, as much as I admire mocktails and all the things they do, to me, it's too many calories, for that. It's like, I'll just drink a juice, and I'm watching all of these things anyway. So if I'm going out, I'm just not going to get a mocktail. I'd rather just get a club soda with lemon and lime.
I was going to ask you if that's another option for you, but yes, that would make sense. Rather than do that, it's a heck of a lot cheaper too than a mocktail. So I know we didn't get a chance to.
There's no booze in it. Are you crazy?
No booze in it. Come on now, people. I know it looks really pretty, but come on. I need a little something.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of yours and you drink it.
Yeah. or let me take a picture of it as it's going to someone else.
Exactly.
We didn't get to talk about it, and it's funny because I'm going to admit, like, one of the things that I wanted to talk about on this episode is soup. And
I love soup.
And it was funny because I think January is like National Soup Month. And I get it if you live up north. And if you live up north, obviously it sounds right because, that's where, it's cold and it's soup weather, like sweater weather, but it's soup weather. And I started thinking about it, and when you and I were talking about things we wanted to talk about, I said I wanted to talk about soup, and I actually was like, oh crap. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna have anything to talk about. I'm like, but then I started thinking about it, and I started talking with my wife and my daughter, and I was like, damn, I'm like, I guess I do enjoy some soup, and
I love
and so I wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Will somebody recently
eat soup in the summer?
Yeah, I'll eat soup any time of year. I also always like hot coffee. I don't care if it's 100 degrees out. My morning coffee is hot coffee. I don't
My
go
first
for the
coffee
cold
is hot.
brew.
Yes.
I'm fine with iced coffee. I like it. I don't drink it very often, but like a couple times a year, I will have it, but not as a morning beverage.
Correct. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Other than the morning. And I don't care if it's seriously, like, I'll sit, if I'm staying on the beach and I go outside and I want to go for a walk on the beach with my coffee, I am drinking hot coffee out on the beach. That's what I want.
Yep, I'm with you. Okay, so in the topic of soup, which I know is an odd topic, but I'm curious, like, do you have? I'm curious of, and I know you wrote about it, so this will be.
I know, but it's
good,
not an odd topic. That's the whole point. Everybody loves soup, I think.
I think everyone does kind of love soup. So no soup for you, and obviously Seinfeld and everything. So so I'm gonna ask I'll ask you two questions, and and then you can kind of take over on talking soup, and I can give you some of my places. But
Yeah,
like, do you have at home, like, do you have a favorite, like, because I feel like there's like an at home soup, like they're like, hey, this is what I love to have at home, and then maybe if like places that you go out and actually have had soup out and about.
In other words, like, what do I make at home?
Yeah, like, is there like a go-to soup that you're like, hey, like, or you have a favorite soup, like, hey, I'm a big fan of this, like a big fan of chowder, or at home, I always like to make this or have this?
Most often at home, I make I make a vegetarian split pea soup and lentil soup. And the reason I
Okay.
love them both, but I make them because they are my mom's favorite soups. And so I always make extra and I bring them to my mother because I love my mommy. So
Yep.
that's what I make the most. But I also love chicken soup, which takes longer than either of those two soups. I don't know. If you make chicken soup at home, I love chicken soup, but it's such a mess. Like, you're taking out the boiled chicken and everything is greasy. It's totally worth it. I love it, but it's true. It's a mess. So those are the three soups. And I make most often, I just got a cabbage. I like cabbage soup, which is basically just like, it's a vegetable soup, but the main vegetable is cabbage.
So you just boil the cabbage and it becomes soup?
Well, no, it's, you use like a mirepoix,
Chop it up
and then,
yeah.
there's tomato in it. And if you're so inclined, you can put chunks of potato in it. I don't usually do that because I don't want to eat all the potatoes, but it's good. Cabbage and cabbage. And you can do a vegetarian stock or you can do a chicken stock depending on what you want. And it's a very, very nice soup.
I'm going to have to try it.
Throw some chickpeas in there or some white beans to kind of give it a little more heartiness. It's very good.
Yeah.
What about you?
What do you make? In our house, for sure, my wife makes an awesome butternut squash soup that I love. Like, when she makes that, like, that's always something we'll have. And she also makes like a tortellini type soup as well.
Oh, I do Italian wedding once in a while.
Yep. Those are two that she likes, that she makes and that I enjoy. I mean, usually, obviously, we'll do tomato soup. We'll put tomato soup in a mug and have it. We'll put them in mugs when we make grilled cheese.
There's always like you make the tomato soup.
We usually try to make the tomato soup. We usually kind of do like a mix, or if we get like whatever it is, we zhuzh it up and add extra elements to it. So that way it's like, it's more like we step it up a little with the tomato soup. But that's usually like another one that we always will have. We'll always have some kind of tomato soup or something like that. And we'll do, like, if when we do grilled cheese, because you got to have that dipping. You got to have a little bit of that dipping action.
I don't do grilled cheese at home, just calories. I don't generally do that. But I like soup, as you can see. I like chunky soup. I like soup with stuff in it. So for me, it's usually not going to be. Butternut squash soup is delicious. Tomato soup is really delicious, but like, I like stuff. So I like the Italian wedding, the vegetable soups, I like everything chunky salsa, chunky peanut butter. Chunky soup.
Yep. Restaurant wise, which is it made me kind of laugh because I was like, man, I'm like, do I had to like think about it, and I was like, do I ever have soup in like, what soups do I have at a restaurant? And then recently I've had, like, I started talking, I was like, I brought the topic up because my wife and my daughter do enjoy a good soup, and we're like talking about it, and I was like, hey, what are some of the soups that we'll eat or we'll like or we enjoy? Some of the ones we like Meng's, at Meng's Kitchen. We love the what is it, Tom Yum Gai. That soup is awesome. The hot and sour lemongrass soup is awesome there.
The chicken coconut. I love that.
Yeah, like my wife and daughter absolutely love that. I like the hot and sour lemongrass soup. That one was like that I enjoyed. And then we'll do the same thing.
I did a story about Meng's soups because I love his soup.
Really?
Yeah, because last year was the first year that I did the whole National Soup Month thing. And even though it's like 100 degrees out, now it's like unseasonably hot. 2 weeks ago, it was 40 degrees out. So
it was perfect.
It was perfect. Yeah.
Yep. At Taste of Shangdu, I like the hot and sour. The hot and sour and the corn, millet, and squash is super good. I love, and this is what it was. So I met a friend. It was super weird. I don't know. We went to Las Carretas over on Goldenrod, and I went for like happy hour to drink. So
Did
I
they
went
have
to
like
go drink.
pozole
That
or
was
something?
they had a tortilla soup. But
Okay.
what made me laugh was like I don't know why, like I wanted to order something other than chips and salsa. And I was like looking at the menu and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have dinner. I'm actually gonna eat dinner later, but
Also,
I
their
don't want to like
menu is huge. Their menu is
yes.
massive. Like you could just get an analysis paralysis on that menu. It's like a
Correct.
Greek diner
And so
menu.
I'm looking at it because I felt like I had there was like a whole thing and I was like I moved and then like I felt like the waiter was like and I'm like and I didn't want to just be like hey we're just drinking so I was like and there was only so many times I could say more chips and salsa so I was like tortilla soup and holy cow the thing was massive. What was funny is and it was super delicious. I mean it was it's like well worth it. And
Now I
what
want
made
to
me
go out.
laugh was my wife texts me and it was one of those like kind of chilly days and my wife texted me she goes hey are you still at Las Carretas? I was like yeah. She goes can you get me some tortilla soup? I was like you're gonna freaking think it's nuts but I had so much soup I have leftovers and I'm bringing home of the soup and so I brought that home. And what made me laugh is I told my sister-in-law because my sister-in-law lives in Gainesville and they have a Las Carretas as well. And one night she came over and it was like another cold night. And I was like, you know what we should get? I was like, we should get tortilla soup at Las Carretas. And I like literally went and picked up the soup, and so everyone got to have it. And like, I was like, so it just kind of made me laugh because I'm like, who am I? I'm like, what kind of, am I a soup guy? I was like, what is going on here? With it, but it was super delicious, with it.
It's like a zhuzhed up to me. I don't know how they do theirs. Every time I have it, whether it's good or not, it's like a zhuzhed up chicken soup.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know.
This one had avocado in it, and it had all
Mhm.
these. I mean, and the chicken. I mean, it was just delicious. I was like, yeah, this I would order this again.
Well, now I'm
So
excited to go try it next time I go
you
there. I
should
usually
definitely
just
go
get
try
like
them.
lengua tacos and a margarita.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's I love it. I'm always a fan of like Las Carretas. Some small local places since obviously I like a good sandwich. Tauta Cheese makes a great tomato soup.
I've not had
The
that.
food
I've
truck.
not had that. See, that would be something fun to go to because I would want a whole,
Yes,
the
like
grilled cheese
they
and
do a
the.
good job, and that's the reason why. And it's like I believe it's mom's recipe is what Brian does over there. So like I think it's and then they've kind of courted it. And then another place that typically I would not like you. It would not be like I'd be like, oh, go have this. But I mean, obviously there is the line soup and a sandwich, but Badass Sandwiches does awesome soups. They do like this amazing pumpkin soup and a tomato bisque type soup.
Nice.
Like don't sleep on that. Like if you want to do like a soup and a sandwich, like it hits. Like they do a really good job with that. And it was funny because I was like one of the first things my wife mentioned. She's like get a sandwich, get one of their soups. She's like that pumpkin soup is awesome, and stuff like that when you see it. So yeah, I mean it was just one of those things where I was like, man, I'm like let's talk about soup. I got so many to talk about.
This will seg into other things that we wanted to talk about before it gets too long because I know we've been talking for a little
Yes.
while. Ramen Takagi. So I
Yes.
know people tend to put ramen like in its own category, but I'm sorry, ramen is still a soup.
Yes. A
And
loaded soup.
so, yeah, so that's a go-to if I'm really looking, for soup that I'm going to eat. It's, I love her soup. I love the tonkatsu. I love the black garlic. I like the spicy miso. It's all really good. Really good stuff. The wonton that she does is really good. And, and she was last year's Ramen Rumble champion.
Yes.
But now we've got a new one.
The new champion.
Red Panda Noodle.
How many competitors were in this year's Ramen Rumble?
5.
Okay.
It was Red Panda and Patina Restaurant Group and hold on, give me a second. The Monroe and Wa Ramen from Lake Nona and Noragami, who I can't say enough good things about Noragami, actually. The only bad thing that I could say about Noragami is that they are too freaking far from where I live. That's
where are they
what
located at?
They're in Plant Street Market, which is too far away from me. I live on the
Winter
other
Garden.
side of town.
Yeah.
Because I would eat there a lot if they weren't so far away.
And so Red Panda Noodle won.
Yes.
It was like a katsu. It was like, wasn't there like their katsu ramen? Is that what it was? That won it?
It was fried chicken. Yeah, fried chicken katsu ramen, or spicy chicken katsu ramen, I think was the name of the dish, which they are now selling on the truck. I mean, when you go to Ramen Rumble, you get one of these because you get 5 of them, of these smaller. You don't leave hungry.
Yeah.
But now you can go to the truck and get a big honkin' version of it.
A big old bowl.
They specifically wanted, outline to me that, this dish is barely recognizable as a ramen, that's a direct quote from them. That's not me. People loved it. I went to the early seating and I took the crowd temperature before I left because it's decided after the second seating, which is when I usually go. This year I wanted to go early because I'm old. And I talked to a bunch of people after they had everything. And I think I talked to 20 people and 16 of them told me that they were going to vote for Red Panda.
Wow.
So I don't know what the final numbers were, but just in my very unscientific sample size, it seemed very likely that they could win. So
and they did.
I didn't know, but you never know what's going to happen. So
yeah, you never know. Well, congratulations to them. Seth and Elliot. They do crazy good food. So we've talked about them and all their other future ventures of where they're at, because I know they're in a few other spots. They'll be popping up a lot more in 2025. Definitely check them out, especially if you're craving some ramen. That chicken katsu is really good. I usually have it with their noodles.
It was excellent. I definitely the soup, everybody told me, and I can vouch. It had a lot of body. It was like they said, barely recognizable. It was borderline broth to sauce. It was just, it had a lot of body to it. It was very silky. Yeah, you should try it. And people raved about their choice of noodle. They used a thicker noodle than a lot of the other competitors chose. Look, there was nothing. Everything was really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, you probably did not go. You definitely enjoyed yourself if you like your ramen.
Yes, no, everybody brought big game. There was actually a pozole ramen from the Patina Restaurant Group that was excellent and really fun. The Monroe's ramen was really good. They did like a smoked, I don't remember, but it was like a smoked chicken shoyu ramen. And wow, that was really good too. They were all really good. Everything was really good.
I will be eating a Monroe brunch this coming weekend for my wife's birthday's coming up, and that was one of the places she wanted to go. We always enjoy their food, so we're gonna go have brunch there this weekend. So
Happy
I'm looking
birthday.
forward.
I don't believe they are putting the ramen on the menu there, but if they do, for some reason, try it.
Maybe I'll try it.
Because it was really good.
Speaking of ramen, obviously, and I know something that you're going to be very busy working towards, the Orlando Foodies,
the hardest job in the whole world.
So I kind of wanted to wrap up as a PSA moment, so you can kind of talk about what's coming up with it, but at the same time also PSA of to kind of I don't know, let hype up our audience to make sure that they nominate who they love and what it is. So can you give people a little bit of an idea of what's to come with the Foodies and what we should expect them to nominate and categories and on all of that goodness?
I don't know when this podcast is going to drop yet.
It'll probably be in a week or so.
Okay, but next week, we're recording now. Next week, it will be announced that the nominations for the Orlando Sentinel Foodie Awards are open. And it's so important for people to get in there and nominate their favorites. It really helps. I mean, people forgetting about the fact that it's the Sentinel, whether or not you like the media, just think about the local restaurants you love and think about how many of them closed this year that you love, and think about helping the ones that you love. And winning Reader's Choice helps. It really helps. People do save that thing and they go. And people like to they get to put it in their advertising. They get to say they're a winner. Give them a boost, because they will get a boost from it. Help boost your favorite local restaurant by nominating them every day, once a day through the nomination process. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you love a restaurant, it doesn't matter. Do it for the restaurant because it really does help. The notoriety, people, when tourists come to town, they do the Google search. They're going to see that, they'll see it. It'll come up in the search. So,
How many categories?
50
how many foodie
categories?
50.
50.
Yeah.
50.
I loved it. I did that every day the year that I turned.
I'll be doing that when I turn 50. And I kick. Yeah, no, I'll be there soon enough.
Right?
So
she's great.
Yes, Molly Shannon, she's phenomenal. But yes, 50 categories. We've talked about it till we're blue in the face, but you seriously I will make sure that this goes out so that people have it during the time of nomination, because I want to make sure that you, the listener, as you're listening to this, go on to and start doing the nominations, start kind of helping and maybe even campaigning for some of your favorites.
Yes, do it. Do it for your favorite places or places that need a boost, which is virtually everybody right now. There are restaurants that get tons of press and still need help because it's tough out there. People, food is expensive. It's going up for everybody. The prices are going up. They have less money to spend on dining out. It's tough. So, do it for your favorite local, small, independent business, the place that you would cry if they were in trouble. Vote for them in whatever categories they fit, and vote, for everybody else too, because
and they could fit possibly some of your restaurants. Some of these restaurants may fit in a bunch of different other areas.
That
so just kind of make sure, go over all the categories and see where they fit and kind of do that, and at the same time, I will say, if you're going to get upset because, hey, why did this big chain make it on this list while we have so many local places? It's because someone nominated them or something like that. Even though I believe is that a change?
I will say the first year that I did the Foodie Awards, I made a couple of changes and it's been kind of stuck since then. And I think COVID changed a few things, but the first year, chain restaurant became its own category. So even if you love a chain restaurant, you can vote for it in the chain restaurant category. Any votes for a chain restaurant, so you chain people out there, anybody who works for a chain, you're wasting your vote, because chain restaurants are only considered in the chain restaurant category. So that's where you vote for your favorite chain, and everything else is independent restaurants. But by the same token, if you see a restaurant that you don't think deserved it, vote for yours. Get other people to vote for yours, if you think that the choices were bad.
I love this. I am a huge fan of this because I do, it gets on, like I talk about how my wife and I have a list. We usually will go that route. Usually, obviously, a lot of times to be honest, it's Amy Drew, is like a lot of times when I see one of your articles pop up on Instagram or on my Orlando Sentinel subscription, we add it to the list and we kind of go that route. But I'm all about trying to find places, especially when you're traveling and driving up to locations. I am always looking for restaurants. So I love the Foodie Awards. I think it's I think all of these things, I think the ones all the different publications have a version of it. And you know what? I'm all for it. The more places that can get some love and that have good food, but with the foodies, Orlando Sentinel Foodies coming up, I will, we're not sponsored by them or anything like that, but I will say that I think it's super, super important to, use your voice and nominate and pick your favorite places and then vote for them once they're nominated and help spread the word for them, because more places are going to close, unfortunately, and it's going to suck. And I don't want that to happen.
Yes, I agree. So vote. Because other people people do read it. They do save it. We're back to the big version this year. That's another bit of news. We tried something different. They thought it would be good to break it up. Nope. People want it back big all at once. That's how you're going to get it. So,
which is a lot more work for Amy Drew, but that's okay.
It's the same amount, just all at once. So I got to go.
Yeah. All at once. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Well, with that being said, we're going to end the episode, but definitely, make sure to go in and nominate. Make sure to go check. If you're enjoying the episodes, make sure to subscribe. We're going to try to, obviously, we're trying to figure out schedules because obviously, as you can see, Amy Drew's a very busy lady.
Oh,
you know, trying, yeah, and me too, obviously, but
and a full-time job and a side hustle
and a clothing brand.
And
and a clothing brand, no big deal. But no,
right.
we'll you know, but seriously, subscribe, definitely check it out. We're definitely going to keep posting some of these and getting these out to you so you can kind of learn the new places. We'll definitely talk about more about the foodies and all of that, but definitely keep eating local, keep shopping local, keep supporting our small businesses, and then make sure to let us know where you're eating, where should we be going.
Yeah,
where
this week,
Amy
if
Drew
you
and I,
want, when this comes out, who are you going to vote for? Who's, you know,
Yeah,
let's
who are you
throw
voting
it out
for?
there. Let's throw some easy ones out there, right? Let's go.
Yeah.
Sandwich, taco, pizza, burger. Boom.
Ooh, I like that. I like
who
that.
you voted
We'll
for.
tell you.
Tell us
Yeah.
on Instagram who you're going to vote for. Go tell.
I will put it out there. But let us know. Let us know who you're picking for that. For tacos, sandwiches. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, start kind of like was it nominating and campaigning for your favorite places.
Yep, you get a week because once the week is up, then the top 3 in every category move on to the final round.
Okay. Perfect.
That's how it works.
I hope you you do that. I hope to see that from everyone. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care.